Alright guys, it's mid-May now, so if you're watching this video, this was probably shot a week before this was posted. So this hunt would be from a couple weeks ago. But one of the mornings that we were doing work up here at the ranch, I slipped out at first light to try to find a couple toms with the shotgun, and kind of played cat and mouse with a group of birds for an hour and a half, 2 hours in the morning on the neighbors, and they were kind of slowly feeding towards ours, so I was just watching them and made about a 1.5 mile circle trying to get around them. And finally they split from the hens, and I tried to go around a big bare ridge to cut them off, and as I was walking down the ridge I caught a glimpse of one at a couple 100 yards and thought I could slip around him, and then caught another one in the wide open, and I was pretty much pinned. So I sat down on the bare hillside behind the fan and couldn't figure out which way to go in any direction, so I figured there was only one option with the shotgun and the fan. This is a technique I've never tried before and seems to get a lot of hate for some reasons, but it's legal. It was a lot of fun, one of the most heart-pumping hunts I've had, so we'll jump into it.
Let's go! He's nice.
Now that's a giant.
Finally happened.
Oh man. Wow. Look at the payoff.
Yeah, buddy. We did it.
Well, that was probably the most fun turkey hunt I've ever had. This morning started off super slow. I left the cabin about a half hour before daylight and worked around the creek all the way to one of our farthest west properties and had birds gobbling over there on the neighbor's property and couldn't get any of them called over. You could hear the hens yelping with them, so they just kind of hung over there. So drove back over and went towards one of our south pieces and saw 3 toms walking through the neighbor's pasture, and I drove up around the corner and up onto one of our big hills and sat there for about an hour watching the birds and seeing what they do, and they finally started making their way towards ours. And I made like a 1.5 mile circle around them and was trying to cut them off on this big hill here. They were around this and then probably another 200 yards that way. And I came up over this big ridge. It goes farther than you can see, but I was just walking, speed walking this way, and ended up catching them in our pasture right here in the open, and they caught me. So I just sat down with the fan, and I've got a turkey fan rigged up on a little stake, and I just sat down with that. These other 2 toms are still gobbling, but I couldn't go any direction and they were looking at me. So I said, screw it, I'll try to slip down there towards them with the fan and just hide behind it. And I'd go about 10 yards and gobble with the mouth call. They'd gobble back. And once I got to 100 yards, they came in on a string and shot that one at maybe 3 yards. I think he was standing right here when I shot. 1, 2, 3, 4 steps away. The GoPro makes everything look farther, but it's a pretty bird. Not bad spurs for around here. Got him pretty good. Not a huge beard by any means, probably a 2-year-old bird. That's the first time I've ever reaped one, and a lot of people have different opinions on that, but when you're on wide open ground on private land, I don't see anything wrong with it at all. That's the first time I've done it, and that's by far the most fun turkey hunt I've ever had. So Carson's just on his way up here. We're gonna do more fence work today, so get some pictures taken of this bird and get to work.